How much goodwill did the Arizona Cardinals earn in the fourth quarter? Obviously, a fourth quarter doesn't make 4 games worth of data. Where do the Cardinals and their offense go from here at 2-2, Johnny Venerable?
At some point, after 6 straight losses to teams with winning records, Cardinals, to be a good team, they got to beat good teams. PHNX Cardinals on a Big Fat Loser Friday starts now. Hey, welcome in. Wrap-Up Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. Sad Boys here. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined as always by my co-host in studio, Mr. Brack. Noah, man, who crushed it yesterday, crushing it every day behind the mic today. Yeah, tough. Somebody texted me before the show, like, how do you feel sleeping on it? You feel better? You feel worse? I'm a little bit dead inside. I mean, that game, it was the kind of outcome that you just couldn't have, and then yet we're watching it in real time. The watch line, it's like, how are we here again?
Right. Yeah. Look, down but not out. Down tremendous, but not out.
Yeah.
And look, everybody in the chat, what's going on? Sad Sicko Boys in the house, Kojo Nation. What's going on, everybody? Of course, this episode, it's brought to you by friends over at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365. Deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Hopefully you won some nice cash, built that stack on the Bet365 app last night, and you've got enough to have some fun this NFL weekend. Let's do it.
I like fun. I'd like some fun in my life. That'd be great. I'd like to have some fun. This will be a fun show if you like ripping people. Listen, we're just gonna jump right into it. We got so much to talk about. I think the Cardinals have good players. I think they have comparable talent to Seattle. I do. Like, if you stack them up, like I saw either NFL.com or somebody did a thing like 10 best players in this game. They gave the Cardinals the first 5 players. So all things equal, I like the roster.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this team right now, we've done this show. We've been conditioned to be patient. For those of you who don't know, Bo and I first started covering this team together. We covered it separately, but together the last year of Cliff Kingsbury. Bo joined the show in the spring of 2022. And that train wreck was easy to see coming a mile away, right? Roster malpractice by Keim, arrests, Mexico City disaster, Keim MIA. And then, so we were talking about new head coaches in November of that year. And it was just, Bo and I, easy to telegraph. And then since Jonathan Gannon was hired in February of 2023, we have been immensely patient. Hopium, as my co-host uses it. And we're at a sticking point. This fan base is at a breaking point. If you're on the Twitter streets right now, it's like what we've been subjected to offensively makes you question everything and anything pertaining to how the Cardinals are currently constructed.
Yeah, it makes you doubt a lot of it, right? It's not complete, hey, where some of the fan bases move on, hit the flip, reset switch, and it's like, you want to continue this 3-ring circus? You want to do that? You want a revolving door? You really want to not practice patience? And you see a guy who's definitively changed the culture in this organization and taken a team that they tore down to the studs and built it back up. And you're seeing budding stars, but you're not seeing them break through and getting signature wins and stacking wins and building towards what really matters, NFL relevancy. playoffs and playing in January.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine right now. And, you can hear each and every press conference, like with listening to JG now, saying, like, as far as the offense goes, not a lot of people see it. Not a lot of people see things trending in the right direction, but Gannon has full belief that they're close, that something's going to sync up, something's going to click, and the Arizona Cardinals are going to start producing enough points to where they're going to put themselves, coupled with a good defense, in position to stack some wins. But as it stands right now, looking at back-to-back losses on the heels of back-to-back ugly wins, there's just a lot of the hope and like the looking down the road and trying to project this thing, seeing them take off and do what is necessary to compete in this tough division and crack top 7 playoff spot in the conference. Like, that's just where I think people like firmly believe that going into this season, and that wind has been removed from their sails by these 4 performances.
Yeah, like, what are the optics of, like, how would you even fathom what a winning streak would look like given where this team is at? Like, how they are such a egregious watch offensively right now. And I'm going to say it every time we do a show. It's an offensive league. You cannot be a bad offensive product, right? Like, you go back to, you think about like the Cardinals when they beat, Seattle in Seattle under Bruce Arians with Britton Golden, who's on our show last night. It's just like pure NFL cinema. And that wasn't a great defensive performance. And you're just trading blows offensively. And that's what Cardinal fans can buy into.
Yeah.
When you have 6 points with 5 minutes left to play, I don't care who you're playing. Like, I'm spare me like, well, we got to give what the defense is. We got to take what the defense is giving us. You play good teams every week. You play good. These are all NFL players. Like, you couldn't score against New Orleans or Carolina when it mattered. Like, you, at some point, it's just like, this offense is going to work or it's not. Now, I'm of the mindset that, like, this is the offense this year, so you might as well see it through. Like, you're not going to bench Marv. You're not benching Kyler Murray. You're not firing Drew Petzing today. You have to be able to get to the end of the season and make a firm judgment. But I said this on Southwest Bias earlier today, Bo. Like, number one, Jonathan Gannon's not being fired. He doesn't deserve to be fired. He's built a culture, A+ grade via the NFLPA. But, like, if they don't make the playoffs, I think you can expect a new offensive coordinator and a new quarterback. So everybody in those camps of, we got to do this, we got to do this, like, you'll get your wish if this continue. Like, this isn't sustainable. Like, they have 13 more games. They're not going to just bail on this season because they believe it. Jonathan Gannon clearly does. But, like, we're not going to do this in 2026 if it doesn't work in 2025. Like, that, guys, we're Bo and I are in agreement with that. That's can't be argued.
It doesn't have. That would be unprecedented, right? As far as this league goes and what we know to be true about it. I mean, Drew Petzing, as much as coach speak as you get from the offensive coordinator, said that much. I mean, it comes with the territory for the most part. Everybody in that building, anybody who's employed in the NFL understands the reality, the tough reality of things, that if in this production league, if you don't produce, they'll find somebody, they'll replace you, and then they'll try to find somebody who can. And if it's not the next guy, they go on to the next guy. So the one thing that I find interesting about last night's performance and the new reality in which we live in. No James Conner. No longer can Drew Petzing dial up James Conner, number 6, toting the rock. And, like, that might have been overlooked a little bit, because I think, and I said it all day yesterday, identity crisis offensively. And it seemed like, especially in that fourth quarter, I know they're playing more of a sped up offense, 4-minute, 2-minute offense, and not huddling as much and spreading it out. And was it our guy Espo saying just 12 personnel? 13
personnel? 12 or 13 personnel.
Yeah.
All day
and Gannon said so much, that was the game plan yesterday. That's how they felt like they had to play it. But I think that they're changing things up a little bit. They're tweaking things because what the personnel is, and they no longer have James Conner there, that they have to throw the football to move the chains more so than they did where they had the confidence, hey, we can hand the ball off and really put ourselves in second and third and manageable. I just think that has to be their identity going forward. It does. Kyler Murray throwing the ball 41 times I don't think that's the last performance where you're going to see a high volume of pass attempts from Kyler. And I think you had to see it play out, them try to, like, on the fly, find their new identity throwing the football. Like, the first half is a bad of a watch as it was. Like, it's not going to, like, hey, in a week's time, going from a run-heavy team to now we got to throw the ball more often, is it going to look good? And that's why we were saying force the issue a little bit before this, in case that comes up, because it does. But I think that their identity as an offense is changing, and the things that people had wanted before, they're going to have to adapt and throw more often.
Yeah, I mean, like, they don't have the personnel to do what they did last year, players or coaches. Like, we have our sample size 4 games in. Like, the loss of Clayton Adams, the Cardinals will downplay it. Not the same offensive line.
Right.
It's not. Don't tell me it is.
What's the offensive line? And I know you look at the stats and you'll say they gave up 6 sacks, but they threw the ball 41 times.
They're much better at pass protecting.
Much better at pass protecting. They were going through 3 weeks. I think they had the second best pass protection numbers.
Lean into it.
And I think they don't have any other option. Now, it could, like, and I'm not saying that this is a good thing, like, oh, here comes the passing yards.
None of this is good. We're not having fun. This is all
saying that there is going to be a bit of a pivot to where how they have to run their offense. And the days of, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, or them running first and second down, no matter what. I think that you did see them at least accept things that they're going to have to throw the ball, and that's going to be primarily the way that they're going to try to put up points the rest of the way out.
Welcome to 2025 NFL football. I also think Evan Brown, Isaiah Adams, week to week, like, who's worse? Will Hernandez is going to take a spot here. It's really sad. It's come down to this.
We were late to the start of the game yesterday because we did our pregame, and the way Amazon gets it going a little bit earlier than Monday night, we were ill prepared. Shocker, right? And the first play to Marv was basically a pass run play. I mean, it was like Kyler Murray just gets the ball out of his hand. Marvin Harrison Jr. takes maybe a step off the line of scrimmage, something like we've rarely ever seen with Marv. And then he picks up the yak 8 yards. This was before disastrous Marv performance.
I still haven't seen this play, but go ahead.
I mean, it was something we've never seen. And it was the first play from scrimmage for Marvin Harrison, or I think early down, they get it right into the hands of their top, wide receiver, and tried to set the tone there. And I know things kind of fell off, but
bad.
I mean, that's the kind of things you're going to have to do, because no longer is it hand the ball off and say, hey, James, whether it's there or not, go get us some yards.
Yeah, like the offense from last year is dead. It's over. We'll never go back to that.
Yeah.
Ever. You don't have the coach. You don't have the personnel now. James,
bye.
I know. It was fun to have a top 5-7 run game for the last 2 years.
Right.
We'll always have the Jets game and the Bears game.
Wow.
I mean, did you see your boy Tip Ryman much last night? I did not. Suddenly that pick, in hindsight, maybe not great. I mean, like, here's where I'm at. If you're Drew Petzing, and again, I echoed this morning with Espo, you're 5 months away from putting your house on the market, 4 months away. Like, because, like, at the end of the year, it's not going to be, I mean, it'll be Gannon's decision, but, like, when you're having, like, your meeting with Austin Ford and Michael Bidwell, and it's just like, you know what, guys, we scored only 18 points per game, but I like our trajectory. Like, it's not happening. As Bo said, it's like unprecedented. If you're Drew Petzing, like, are you going to be stubborn, or are you going to try to, like, this is going to sound like me being a dick, but, like, are you going to try to save your job? Who's saving your job for you? Number 18, number 85, number 14.
Didn't you think through 3 quarters of bad football on the offensive side of the football, at least there was an acknowledgement that they knew they couldn't run the football to win yesterday?
Yeah. And again, like,
there was a realization.
I think you can still run it with Trey and Kyler and DeMercado and do some things. If this is Kyler Murray's last stand, you need to have it be in the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't working. 13 personnel, 12 personnel, whatever it's been before. That's over.
Get a lead and you can do that.
Yeah. Maybe.
Right.
If you can run block, they can't run block right now.
Looking at Noah behind the back, he's like, nah, not even then. Sure. Not even if there's a fire. No.
That's right. You need to go at least 2 wide with Michael and Marv, and then you have Trey in the slot. And then, loved Greg Dortch in the fourth quarter. Love the underneath stuff to Greg because he's got some big-time yak ability. You got to go down. Hey, Drew, go down swinging here. Nobody thinks you can do it. Prove them wrong. I would love to be proved wrong, and the Cardinals to go on a 10-game winning streak and start scoring 30 points per game. Here's where I'll give you credit, Bo. It's you're right. They had 4 days to put this together. But let's be frank, though. This should have been the offense in the offseason. This should have been what they were doing.
I agree.
This 12, 13 personnel with an undersized quarterback and skilled players that maybe we overvalued ain't it. And now it's okay, the best coaches figure it out. And the good news is you're still 500. The season is not lost. You play the worst head coach in the NFL a week from Sunday. People in Tennessee want this dude gone. He doesn't know the rules. He was hired in Tennessee to call plays, and he's had play calling taken away from him.
Mm-hmm.
You need to assert your dominance against Tennessee, something that we talked about doing against Carolina and the Saints to get your mojo going offensively. You scored 6 points with 5 minutes left to play last night. National TV. Not good enough.
But did they get the paddles out? Did they get the paddles out and they got a crowd and you're like, need space and you're rubbing together. Clear. Boop. Did they hit it? Boom. Did that wake up the offense at all? But did they get them back? Did they get them back? Did they find a rhythm there? I know people are like, it was all for naught, sure. It piqued our interest again. We didn't have to turn it off and switch on to Hulu or find out what else was on Amazon Prime, like The Summer I Turned Pretty or something like that. Instead, you got this, they hooked you all the way into the final.
I heard that's good.
Did something happen? Because for Kyler Murray, he goes 9 for 12 with 81 yards and 2 touchdowns in that quarter. And he's utilizing his wide receivers. He's using, when we talk to Kurt Warner, what did he talk about? The diversity of his skill player, his wide receivers. Preston's like this, and Fitz is like that, and Q's like this. And it's Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Greg Dortch. He's catching the ball at the line of scrimmage, and he's running 15 yards from there. Trey McBride. It was a full complement. And Kyler Murray was hitting them all over the field, hitting them on early downs, hitting them on late downs, 4th and 5. Michael Wilson, one-hander. Marvin Harrison Jr., 2nd and goal from the 16. Touchdown over Devin Witherspoon. I don't want to just, get some Kool-Aid out here and stir it up and say, hey, guzzle this down, because, no, I'm just as hesitant as anybody else.
Yeah, shield boy.
But I think there was somewhat of a pivot from the reluctance, the stubbornness of who they were and then realized, no, this is who we have to be, and we have to figure it out.
Here's what you need to do. Sorry, apologies for our audio only listeners. You need to do this. You need to get the old play sheet from when Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, stop.
Of what Kyler Murray did. No, what he did best.
Sneak into his PV mansion.
Dust it off, right? Do one of these and say, get the glasses out and say, Kyler Murray, Tennessee Titans opener, 2021, shotgun, pepper in the ball, Christian Kirk, AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins.
This is what you do, Johnny. You go Ocean's 12 personnel. No, Ocean's 11 personnel here.
That's right.
And you go in the next 10 days, you break into Cliff Kingsbury's vacant mansion, and you go in there. Obviously, we know it, infamous for the draft, and it's empty, and there's dust all over, and all there is are giant lion paintings. Yes. And then you find the boxes of old playbooks, and you go steal a couple of those. I don't disagree with that.
We are on the same page. And listen, Cliff Kingsbury's offense ran out of gas here in Arizona because Cliff, who is shown to be a high-end play caller in the NFL, couldn't do it all, right? He might just be a great OC. But when he had Kyler Murray humming, it's the best Kyler Murray's ever looked in the NFL. They have tried to do something that I think was commendable at the time. Gannon loves to run the ball. You want to dominate the line of scrimmage. And this is something that we're just going to have to accept, Bo, because the season's on the line.
Yeah.
The 12 to 13 personnel left Kyler Murray less susceptible to hits. They gave up 6 sacks yesterday. Now, Gannon said 3 of them were self-induced.
Right.
You're going to leave Kyler Murray more susceptible to pressure by doing this.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, let's not have him hit and let's take 0 risks and score no points. But at least, he's got a clean jersey at the end of the game. Are we trying to win? Are we trying to score points? This offense is not going to beat Indianapolis as previously constructed. It ain't sure as hell ain't beating the Packers. I don't know if it can beat Dallas. Like, they're meeting. Gannon said they're meeting all weekend. The coaches are like, they're getting a break today. They're meeting all weekend. Like, fix it. Your defense is playoff ready. I think your head coach and your special teams outside of what happened at the end of the game are playoff ready. Your offense just needs to be average. Just be average. Score 24 points a game. And look what the difference is. We've got some damning statistics. The Cardinals have lost 6 straight to winning teams. But it's not as bad as you think. Like, I'm sure Gannon and company know this. They think they're close. You're not close until you make drastic moves offensively.
Well, and you've got back-to-back losses with the point differential's 4. Yeah. You're 2-2, and you've got your 2 losses you've lost by combined 4 points. One the previous 5 days ago, and then last night you get walked off with a 3-point field goal. So yeah, let's get into some of those stats here. Johnny loves them. He just loves to pile on, just sprinkling on the bad stats.
Can't hide from him. You can't. Yeah, I could have pulled more today. I cooled off a little bit. I said, you know what? Should we pull the offensive numbers? We could have gone.
Johnny pulling bad offensive statistics is like Steph Curry when he heats up. He's just hitting like 30-footers. Boom, boom, boom.
Don't bring him up to JG, though.
That's
all right.
Let's keep it going here after we'll get to those stats here. PHNX Cardinals.
Hit that like button for our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Wild Horse Pass. Nobody does it better. They've got 4 locations, and you can join them to experience the best the Valley has to offer. Lounge at either the AAA 4 Diamond Resorts or let relaxation take charge with unbeatable desert and mountain views. Go all in with 4,500 slots, live table games, or catch all the action at any of their sports books, including Wild Horse Pass, which is the biggest sportsbook casino in Arizona. It's fantastic. Go big, go home. From upscale to approachable, classy to casual, from bar to bar none. Check them out right now. I can't wait for our next watch party. You do you. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details, Bo.
Got to tell all my friends about Rally House. You want to rep those rivalry jerseys? Our guy Espo got one. We've got one for PHNX crew. Let's go get one for everybody. Rally House. That's where we're going to do it. We're all going to meet up at one of the 3 Valley locations, Tempe, Mesa, and Glendale. Check out Rally House for all your game day needs. Hats. They got them. Jerseys, of course. Best selection in drinkware, signage, coolers, and socks. Yeah, rep some socks. You got D-backs, Suns, ASU, who's in action tonight, U of A, GCU, and of course, we mentioned the Redbirds. Go get your game day fit and vibe on point with our friends over at Rally House. Our young producer, Noah, said, is that one of my peers? Is that one of my young peers over there? The way I was just talking there, fit, vibe. Yeah, I'm probably in my mid-20s. Feels like it. Local Rally House location. Up their entire product assortment online, rallyhouse.com. That's rallyhouse.com. Check them out. Google search them. Mesa, Glendale, Tempe. Go check them out.
The hardest part for a team in any sport is to go from competing middle of the pack to great, to get to that good to great level. We talked about it on the postgame show. Cardinals were a 500 team last year, right around there. They were 6-4 at the bye and then struggled mightily down the stretch because of this offense. And I was willing to give the team and ownership immense benefit of the doubt into this offseason because retool, year 3, rebuild, the crescendo, right? Cardinals are not a good team. They're an average team. I don't think that can be argued. In their last however many games, dating back to last year, they're right at 500, right? That's an average team. They're beating the teams they're supposed to, and they're losing to the better teams that are in playoff contention, okay? And again, if you're thinking to yourself, well, how are they losing? Why are they losing? I think it's pretty obvious. Let's take a look at this statistic. Noah, man, the Cardinals in their last 12 games versus teams with winning records, the Cardinals are 2-10, and they've lost 6 straight, okay? Though the most recent was the Charger game on Monday Night Football on ESPN Plus, when they allowed, I think, just 15 points and scored 17. In these 6 losses, I'm going to read you the score. Dating back to after the bye last year at Seattle, 16-6, scored 6 points. At the Vikings, 23-22. Offense didn't do anything in the red zone the entire game. Versus Seattle, 30-18. Kyler Murray, 2 interceptions, a backbreaker. At the Rams late last year, 1 touchdown. At the 49ers a week ago, 1 touchdown. Versus Seattle last night, no points, no touchdowns until 5 minutes left in the game, 23-20. All of those games were winnable. The defense, 16, 23, 13, 16, 23, and then one outlier, 30 points, but from Kyler's interceptions, which were on the Cardinals side of the field in that game last year. All of these games were winnable. None of them were blowouts. Your offense is holding you back. This is not a new thing. Your offense last year, just because you could run block, was not good. It was not a complete product. And I think when Cardinal fans are frustrated, Bo, when they hear JG talk about, well, we got to be able to run block, it starts there. Your offense last year proved that that is not enough.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, they weren't as well equipped, right, to kind of just be a defense and run team, right? Yeah. And you need to be able to get more points otherwise. And I mean, the kind of silver lining here, and people don't want to hear it, is that a lot of those outside of the 2 Seattle games from last year is competitive, and it comes down to like really one possession.
Yeah, final possession.
You just couldn't get it done. But as everybody's going to point to, and people are asking us to talk about the kickoff and point out like singular plays where this offense creates so many missed opportunities that you feel like, okay, well, you can pick from certain multiple drives where you missed the chance at capitalizing and maybe putting yourself in a position to win those games instead of lose those games. It's not, I know, like you look at the Vikings game and like Kyler and the offense had the ball with a chance to go down and win it, and it didn't work. Same thing with the Rams game. Ball goes off of Trey McBride's face mask into a defender's hands, but like throughout that, like you still only had 9 points, but you were moving the football. Like what happened in those other times where you weren't able to cash in? So it absolutely is like you can really kind of point to I think one phase where if you just get better play, you're gonna come out on the other side. It's like 2-10 is crazy. Like when you it's the polar opposite of like Kevin O'Connell, where Kevin O'Connell is a guy who wins those games. How does he do it?
Mike McDonald now too.
Yeah, it's usually, but as far as KOC, I don't know about McDonald, but because McDonald's had 2 of them, but consistent quarterback play and being able to generate points consistently.
Let me ask you a question. They knew those stats last year. We all saw it. We all saw that the Cardinals' offensive stats were juiced in the finale last year against San Francisco. Kyler Murray had 17 passing touchdowns entering that game, and the offense was not good. Mm-hmm. And then they lit it up against the Niner team that had like practice squad level players. They didn't have any players left. What do you think Austin Ford's mindset was going into this offseason, based on the fact that we talked to him at the combine, we talked to him over the summer at training camp, and he's talked about having a jump internally from guys and believing that they were good enough to run it back. But I mean, like, what do you think the team's rationale was of just having the status quo on that unit?
Because I think they saw an offense, and the statistics will tell you that like EPA and how they moved the football and how they ran the ball last year, that they weren't like just some sort of no-show offensively. Like I know they had their parts, but like
it hasn't been as bad as this. You're right.
It hasn't been as bad as this. And they thought with, I think, a better defensive performance consistently, it was going to create more opportunities for the offense, and just
it's a good point.
Based on that, they would be able to muster enough points. It hasn't worked out that way. Not even like, I'm not going to say it even resembles what I think they anticipated, because like when we were talking to Monty Ossenfort, who talks twice a year, one at the combine, and he talks more than that. He talks after the draft, and then he talks in training camp once. In training camp, when he spoke about the expectation for guys to make a jump, like even though we liked what we saw from the resilience from Marvin Harrison Jr., it's been uneven still. It's been maybe even more uneven than last year.
Yeah.
Where it's one good game, two horrendous games, almost 2.5 horrendous games, and then a really rock solid half to help almost rally your team to a chance to win that game. But like when Monty's talking at the podium at training camp in Glendale, and he's saying like, no, we expect a big year 2 jump, and you've got 2 first rounders between Marv and Darius, and you're not getting a whole lot of production from them. It's tough. Like that stunts you going from where you want to go.
Well, but the difference is Darius is part of a unit that's so well coached that they can overcome Darius, who had a sack last night, taking his time to get right. And same with like they don't even miss Walter Nolen right now. I mean, we're going to talk about, but like they haven't lost any of these games because of defense. Garrett Williams, helps them, but Keitrell Clark was unbelievable last night. It goes back to, and this is going to sound like I'm beating the dead horse, that I'm cruel, and I don't mean to sound disingenuous. When one person has control of one side of the ball and it consistently underperforms, and you have so much invested in it, high draft picks, marquee Pro Bowlers, franchise quarterback, and it is so egregiously unwatchable at times, that is the end of the road for a lot of fans. That you yourself, if you're Drew Petzing, you orchestrate this offense. Just like on the flip side, Seattle went out and got a new OC, and it's been a home run. And he's doing it with a brand new quarterback, and they're putting together wide receivers and nobody knows of, and backup tight ends, and it looks different. Drew Petzing has been in charge of the Cardinals offense since August, September of 2023. And it has regressed significantly. And it's gotten better players over time. I mean, Kyler Murray went into Philadelphia without Marvin Harrison Jr. and put up 30-plus points in December of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had an outing like that since. So it's one of those things where I am going to always go back to who is the architect of this unit, not from a personnel standpoint, make it work, but from a play calling standpoint. And that's where Drew, like, we are trending toward Drew not being back next year. Like Gannon is not going to say that. I'm going to say it for him. He doesn't need me to say it for him. This trajectory we're on right now, and I appreciate him trying to fix it. Thank you. That's your job. Like if the Cardinals go into Indianapolis and can't score, or they can't score against the Packers, and it's rough, they got to go Seattle. Like you're going to fire Drew Petzing in January, and it's going to bring a lot of questions about the future of this coaching staff, because Bo and I were talking about it before the show started. If this season ends and they don't make the playoffs, and it's because of the offense, which right now it is clearly because of the offense, dating back to last year, not only are you firing Drew Petzing, you're going to saddle Kyler Murray with another coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, well, do you bring in another quarterback, and then you add a coordinator, and then Gannon's on a hot seat with maybe a rookie and a new OC? Is there going to be a Sam Darnold available? Like, there are so many questions right now.
Pretty low percentage plays.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty much putting you're hinging your future on kind of lottery tickets at that point, because
they don't want to do that. I'm sure.
No, they don't want to do that. That's why the leap of faith is it's tough to make as an NFL franchise. And it's tough to pivot off players like Kyler Murray, who's a good quarterback, and then you feel like, hey, is there a ceiling here? But the Cardinals, and you also consider, like, they've benefited, Johnny, from not facing the best offensive teams to open up the season. Like, Saints are bad, Carolina's bad, the Niners with Mac Jones bad, and I wasn't overly impressed. Like, good on Sam Darnold, he made the throws when he needed to make the throws, and JSN, after being shut out in the first half, he came alive in the second half. But for the most part, like, they're not going to be one of the better offenses in the league. They spanked a couple bad teams to put up some numbers and juice the stats. But like those games that you just mentioned, like Indy, and we'll see where they are this week, but I anticipate them kind of continuing the momentum. And then, of course, Green Bay, even though they had a horrible performance against Cleveland, you think that they can get it going. Like, those are the teams that could, if you show offensively, I don't care how good your defense is, you're going to have bad losses. And you were able to avoid one yesterday, but it's one of them, like, it's going to catch, you're going to get caught on the wrong day, and it's going to really open some eyes.
And that's where, like, the optics of last week being so committed to your offensive coordinator is a tough look for this franchise. You have to understand. I think that's why Gannon, Darren Urban had put out a tweet, and I sent it to Bo, and it was very much emphasizing like the transparency that Gannon has shown his last two press conferences, which I would agree with. He had a press conference today and yesterday after the loss, and he's trying to give people an inside look of what's going on. And I'm sure like part of this is they've known that Marv has had these hurdles to overcome, and they're doing their best to accommodate them. Like what they feel like they're doing, like even though we probably don't agree with how they've handled them, they feel like they've handled him as best they can, given the fact that he's having a tough time right now. And I sympathize with that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're ignoring him and you're bullying him. Like, we know Jonathan Gannon personally. Like, that's not what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's like, but you have to understand and recognize that, like, what you're doing, not only with Marv, but like these wideouts in general, like the players aren't responding to that. Like, you could have the best intentions in the world as a head coach and a play caller. And listen, if like, it's like when you parent, if your parenting isn't resonating with your kids, something needs to change, right? And just because this is the way you've always done things, I mean, everybody's different. Every kid is different. Every player is different. And that's what makes great staffs. And that's why Kevin O'Connell always wins. And that's why Sean McVay always wins, because they know how to push those buttons. And like the unfortunate part, and I'm going to say that the tough thing out loud, Bo, is like this is an offensive league, and Jonathan Gannon doesn't own the offense. And the offense is a problem. And he is falling into, and I don't want this, he's falling into that trope where it's like great defensive head coach, but where is his golden goose of a coordinator offensively that's going to help them get security, extensions, playoff bursts? Like, they don't have it right now.
Yeah, and to stick with the analogy, like the one adult you have like in the room is probably not the best parent at the time, right? It's like, well, you can't move on because who's going to take over from there, and what's that going to look like? Are you going to give yourself? It's just like the off-season question. Like, where do you, like, when you make wholesale changes, it becomes such a tough task, like to get the quarterback position right when you move off of one, or you make these tough, you get these tough divorces from play callers, like, and it's tough to find good play callers sometimes. It really is. Like, and most, Detroit seemed to be able to do it, but it's like, I think once you see one and once you know one, like if somebody gets in there and you can be like, you're a fraud, like that's not going to work. Like, I think there's probably some truth to that. It becomes a little bit easier. Like Philly was able to weather it. Like they lost Steichen, and then they got one guy, and they's like, no, this guy sucks. We got to move on. And they moved back to Kellen Moore, and he becomes a head coach. So it's tough, man. This is not an enviable situation. This is not a situation that you anticipate, especially with how their schedule lined up, especially how, things even lined up even more favorably than that against San Francisco to go and put up these performances. It's that's why it's depleting to the fan base. Like, so if it's not working now, like how can you show me, or how can you persuade me that it's going to work down the road?
I don't know. They have to do the talking with their play and their performance. And last year when they were 1-3, we were burying them, and then they rallied, and then they had a sputter, and then they rallied again. And they made it to 6-4, and but it was all on the heels of an elite defense, coaching wise, and then a run game that doesn't currently exist right now. All right, let's get to a break. We're going to turn right back around. We're going to talk about what's going on with Walter Nolen, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel with some of these injuries. And we'll also talk about what we think the timeline is for some players that could be looking, toward the bench sooner rather than later. It's PHNX. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Bet365. We are, I think, 4 for our last 6 on this little fanboy podcast with our pregame picks. Yesterday, we hit the under, and we also hit the over in Kyler Murray rushing yards, and he was just 20 yards passing away from a big payout. And you can get a big payout right now, or early payout offer. If your team goes up by 17 points, I'm going to sprinkle a little ASU money line tonight. How about that? Last NFL season, both money lines were paid out 4 times as much. early payout, and the end result is in the game. Again, breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up. Again, the bonus code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary with Bet365. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
Showed a disturbing picture off the side from Noah, but I'm going to move forward because I'm a professional. And look, I had a big win last night with Bet365, and I'm just going to deposit it right into my checking account at Mountain America Credit Union. Get your My Style checking account to match your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Yeah, you get the Mountain America My Style checking account. It has perks for you. You always want perks, baby. How about these? Restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travels, events, and so much more. Make your money work for you. Give you your perks instead of just going, hey, I'd like to keep my money at this bank, please. Oh, I just got to pay some service fees. That sounds great. No, get some perks with My Styles, your lifestyle checking account over at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. That's macu.com/mystyle to apply. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration activation. Terms and conditions, exclusions apply. Insured by the NCUA.
Everybody hit that like button, subscribe to PHNX Sports, and become a part of our supporters club. Again, supporters helping us get to where we want to go as a company since 2025. You can use those fun emojis. I know today's not fun, but emojis are fun. And again, everybody's always asking us, how can we best support the show, support Johnny, Bo, and Noah? Do you have a Patreon? Nope, we got a supporters club. So again, hit that join button. Just $5 a month helps us immensely. You can see the folks in the chat who are supporters. They got the green on the name. They got access. Again, help us out. Become a supporter today. Love what we're seeing in the chat. You guys crushed it yesterday. It was one of our biggest days of the year. We had almost 1,000 people watching our watch along. We're going to do that later again this year. And then, of course, our banner, pregame, halftime, and postgame show. You guys are the best, keeping us at number one as we await the Cardinals to reciprocate the favor with some dubs. But reinforcements could be coming in the form of Walter Nolen, B.J. Ojulari. We don't have the presser clip, but Gannon alluded to it earlier today in his press conference with local Phoenix media, and said something to the effect of, we're going to get those pup guys going. And then he kind of tongue-in-cheek said something to VP of Communications, Mark Dalton. He said, sorry, Mark. And then kind of had to walk it back. But by and large, I would be very surprised if Walter Nolen wasn't activated off pup.
Basically saying they could open their practice window next week, right?
Yeah.
And it would be a little premature. Still got the weekend to go before they can, they need to really kind of churn those transactions. But 4 weeks are done, and the eligibility to return from PUP and IR, it's upon us. And the wait for the 16th overall pick, I think we've reached the next little checkpoint. I'm with you. I think that the practice window opens the 21 days, and would probably be Titans, and then you got I'd say maybe 2 weeks runway, and then get them in there against Green Bay potentially. What do you think?
Yeah, I think at least. I mean, probably can't go against the Colts, but yeah, Tennessee Titans not.
No training camp. Like the last football that Walter Nolen played was the practices at the Senior Bowl, and then before that was in Ole Miss in December.
I think part of it's going to be like, how's the team doing? Honestly, I think that's part of it. Like, do they need to rush him back? Hopefully you get good news on Darius. Darius has a little bit of a chest injury. I hope it's not his pec.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything on Darius. Will Johnson is poised to come back sooner rather than later. Again, though, do you need Will Johnson against the Titans? You may not. Like the personnel you had yesterday defensively should be fine to take care of the Titans.
But look, let's get it. I think Will Johnson gives you upside as far as getting his hands on a football against a kid like Cam Ward. Like, just get him in there, get the plays. It lessens the difficulty, even though you shouldn't have much. But I want to see Will Johnson play football. It's a good day anytime that happens. and they didn't IR him. So, there's the thought like, hey, with this little mini bye, like they could probably, 10 days, they don't play for 10 days. Could they get Will Johnson back as early as Tennessee, or do they holster him like Johnny's kind of alluded to until a bigger matchup against the Colts? But regardless, reinforcements are on their way. And you have to imagine, Will Hernandez is going to be at a point where he could potentially play. Like by the time they take the field in week 5, we're then now going to be at the 12-month spot, I think a year to the day from when Will Hernandez went down with the knee injury. So I got to imagine that gets him in a good spot. He's got to be pretty close. It's not like he's like BJ Ojulari where he's coming off the edge. He needs that bend. He needs that need to be like fully rehabilitated with, the speed training and all that. BJ Ojulari is going to be interesting, man, what his role is going to be, because their pass rush room, it's playing well. It looks good, and it's pretty chock full.
I thought Jordan Birch had a couple nice plays, especially on special teams. Like, listen, let's talk some positives from yesterday. Keitrell Clark, outstanding. I thought all the DBs, I know Max Melton got turned around by a great player. I thought Denzel Burke, Keitrell Clark, Taylor Demerson, Keaton Crawford. I'm like, we said it on the postgame show, like the DBs are so well coached because the defensive coordinator and the head coach know what they're doing with that unit. Like, of course, these guys are great. Like Keitrell Clark, I'll eat all the crow. I was ready to cut him. I thought the Cardinals had depth for days. He is an unbelievable tackler. Like when the Cardinals, it was Keitrell Clark or a big explosive, he stepped up. So he has earned my respect, even though he doesn't need it. Somebody tagged me on this on Twitter. I apologize. I don't know the individual, but I'll give a shout out anyway. The 2023 draft class, Paris and Garrett. Hopefully Michael Wilson gets more opportunities. Dante Stills, Keitrell Clark. I mean, it's a contributing draft class. Ojulari is the only miss right now. Everybody else, you're getting something. And then obviously Clayton Tune's no longer with the team. But yeah, I mean, you're just the defensive draft picks, like when they play, you feel their impact. No doubt about it.
Yeah. And like you can add Dermicado and Higgy Bear to that as well. So those are guys that they were able to pick up later, and Starling Thomas before he tore his ACL. It was an impactful draft class. And now you're looking for your 24 class to kind of follow their footsteps here and start to make an impact. Yeah, Baharo's saying 2024 class was
and that's the draft class that you couldn't afford to have that happen.
That was the one where you had 12 picks and 7 top 100 when it was all said and done, and taking stock of those 7, like at least Marv had the, resurgence in the second half, which was
Max Melton's a good player too.
Max Melton had a great game last night. I know people want to crush him for the JSN catch, but I thought Max, that's the position. I mean, if you're making every play, you're like Darrelle Revis, basically. But yeah, Max Melton, he kind of gets excused here, but you're looking at those third rounders. It was mentioned, like if the days of heavy 12 and 13 personnel are done, like Tip Ryman, 82nd overall pick, like that becomes tough. Elijah Jones, still waiting for him to kind of find himself at the NFL level. Trey Benson, like you like some things you saw from him, but like you didn't see the confidence that they would like lean on him. So yeah, the 2024 class has,
and Isaiah Adams has been not great.
Isaiah Adams has absolutely been a tough spot for this Arizona Cardinals team after having a good training camp. But
you got to get Marv right. That's what you got to get the 4th overall pick right.
Right. And I think like most of our post game was, as negative as things have been today, because we didn't want to come out here and tell you different, like that things are all sunshine and butterflies when it's raining outside. Literally, like we were talking a lot about the second half resurgence in rally that they had that was kind of led by Marv in the shotgun with Kyler Murray. You just go down swinging the rest of the year, and you say, defense, try to hold the opponent 21 points or less per game. You're doing a great job. Kyler, Marv, Michael, and Trey McBride, go out there and play the shotgun and figure it out. Kyler Murray, run around. I mean, like, what do you have to lose at this point?
I'm at that. Like, that's how I feel about this offense.
Yeah.
I agree with the people now. It's taken me a while to get here. Like, you fit a square peg into a round hole with Kyler Murray because it looked okay, in 2023 when he came back from injury, and it looked okay to begin last year. Kyler Murray is not a good fit for what Drew initially wanted to do. I think to have a quarterback in this offense with Kyler's skill set, I don't think he's tall enough. I think he sees the field better, certainly as a shotgun player. Like, here's where I'm not going to argue, and I'm going to give Cliff Kingsbury the benefit of the doubt. Cliff is a better play caller than Drew Petzing. That cannot be argued. Not a better head coach, but then, I think Jonathan Gannon has an edge as a culture builder, certainly. But, like, Cliff Kingsbury knew exactly what to do with Kyler Murray. And I think as time has passed, time has been kind to Cliff because we saw all the malpractice offensive, draft picks, busts, additions, like, so to me, it's like, okay, we need to be able to just lean into what this is coaching 101. Lean into what the guys do well. It's what Kurt Warner told us last week.
Right. Yeah. Should we go to break here? Come back,
get do some super chats.
Absolutely. We got a new member or new. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get back here on PHNX Cardinals.
It's been a tough 24 hours for Arizona sports fans. The Diamondbacks imploded. The Cardinals are a little bit of an embarrassment on national TV, but Pure Edibles is here to save the day. So chill out, pop a gummy with our sponsor, with 130 dispensaries statewide. Pure gummies are not covered in sugar like the competitors. They're a full-fledged candy company offering gummies, kicks, chews, and hard candies. They offer gummies for sleep support as well as candies with uplifting effects derived from unique cannabinoids, such as CBN, CBG, CBD with marijuana-derived THC. And again, right now, if you're in Arizona, go to one of their 130 locations. Try for yourself some Pure Edibles. And again, do it in Arizona with easily the premier edible company. And again, who says happy hour has to end with the new Nobles Road Tower Station IPA all-in-one edible? Unbelievable. Try it now. It's Pure Edibles.
For more than 15 years, Access Insurance, the agency of Arizona, has delivered affordable, reliable car insurance for drivers across the Phoenix metro area. They make it simple to get covered, accepting different IDs, driving histories, and license types while partnering with over 20 carriers so you can compare rates and find the best that fits your budget. With bilingual agents at 9 Valley locations, Access is part of the community and ready to help you discover coverage and discounts you deserve. Plus, they accept both cash and card for your convenience. Access Auto, trusted by the community, rooted in Phoenix, and ready to help. All statements are subject to terms, exclusions, and conditions of applicable policy. In other instances, all current policy contract language prevails. Coverage is subject to individual policy holders meeting underwriting qualifications and state availability. Other terms, conditions, and exclusions may apply.
Everybody hit that like button. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Jumping into your super chats. Turtle Trolls. Good to see you, my friend. $4.99, Bo. I was at the game. Nice to see the stadium gain life after all the boos, but such a heartbreaking finish.
It was. They came all the way back just to finally put that stake in your heart. Just it was a little. They delayed the inevitable, but showed signs of life, and they didn't completely embarrass themselves on that elite field that they had out there at State Farm Stadium last night.
That guy, Angelo, 187, $10. Thank you so much, Angelo, for the support on that level. Bo asked JG, since he knows winning stats, if 32nd in the NFL in passing is a winning stat and under 300 yards in 4 games now is a winning stat. If a 17-yard pass was the longest pass of 3 quarters is a winning stat.
Yeah. I only ask bad questions now.
That's not what you do.
Yeah, I'm only going to ask terrible questions. I got on the broadcast last night asking terrible questions, so I think that's my strategy from here on out. It's all about just getting my brand out there. I don't care about tough questions.
Alphonse, $4.99. They need to add a legit receiver.
Bubblegum softballs. That's all. Just here you go. You like the uniforms? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite holiday?
They're screwed. DJ Moore, Ty Freak, someone ASAP. They are never, ever, ever trading for Tyreek Hill. Ever. Yeah. They would never do that. I don't think they deserve to trade for any receiver. You can't, they're not a receiver away from going from 12 points per game to like 30. I think talk to me at the bye. If they're 4-3 at the bye and they're trending up and they need a piece, okay.
If they're trending up, like, you got to imagine that's some product of like Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, guys, wide receivers making plays.
Dale, excuse me. Apologies for that. $4.99. What's going on? Is JG an evil Cliff Kingsbury? Not too much in press conferences, not wanting much to change. I don't know. He believes in what they're doing. And what they're doing right now is they're playing elite defensive football. They've changed the culture. They're competitive, but their offense is holding this team back. And it's gotten to the point where it's not below average. It's a very difficult product to consume. And that's when people are going to come out with their pitchforks. Like if the Cardinals were losing games like 35-27, but like it's sex appeal and fantasy points and touchdowns. No, I'm serious. Like people are going to be like, okay, like we're a couple defensive players away. You're the Browns now. You're the Browns of the NFC. You're an elite defense and a poop offense.
Stop. Poop. Their quarterback spot isn't nearly as bad as the Browns. How dare you? But look, you do have to have a get-right performance against Tennessee. And I know that seems like I hate that it seems like I'm begging for it at this point, but it has to happen. Like, you have 10 days to prepare. You got a little juice at the end of the last game, and it showed you, hey, we could do this. This could be us offensively. Now, parlay that into a strong performance a week from this Sunday. That you have to do that. I know, like, people are going to just go, it's the Titans. They suck. Brian Callahan, terrible coach. He's on his way out. Might even get fired after if they beat him and beat him impressively. But you have to have that performance to kind of get things going. Just get it juiced up. I mean, it worked for the Seahawks. Like, Seahawks were very unimpressive week 1. And then they strung together back-to-back good performances against bad teams. And it got them in a spot where they had enough to hold that one off yesterday. And people are like, hey, Seahawks pretty good. You can start to like change people's minds, but you have to have the performances in order to do so. 0 for 4 offensively as far as that goes.
Jenga Man, 64, $5. At what point does JG sticking with Petzing come off as a lack of belief on our offensive talent? No, they pick these players. Can't use that as an excuse. If this was 2023 and it's Hollywood Brown and an old D-Hop and Kenyon Drake and some of those guys, yeah, sure, get rid of everybody. These are their guys. These are hand-picked players. These are players that they sat up there at the press conference after draft weekend and said, love it, love it, love it. But Drew Petzing wants big physical wide receivers. So now it's like, okay, they don't have any short, compact guys, not short and like 5'8", but like 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", because this is what Drew wanted. Drew's the orchestrator of this offense. Look no further than Tip Ryman to confirm that. Taco Corp, $4.99. Offense is so much better when they're forced to throw downfield, and the D can't just sit on everything. Analyst hats, what's wrong with the run game? They lost an elite offensive line coach.
That's it. Clayton Adams is gone, and they're playing catch up, and you're not seeing like Isaiah Adams, who they wanted to take a step, is not taking a step. Evan Brown had a decent game yesterday. The grades say that he had a really good game, especially in pass pro. So it's like, hey, your offensive line is more geared towards protecting the passer than it is opening up run lanes.
We got a new member, Fleets, 831.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, Fleets. And then we had another one. Noah, would you look for that other one? I swear we had 2 during the show. Grab the other one if you could. Thank you so much, Fleets. While I read this from Reezy Baby, $5. JV, would you rather watch Drew Petzing's offense or draft day for 12 straight hours? Hashtag Circle K snacks incoming. I would probably rather watch Drew Petzing's offense because at least I like the players. I don't like anything about draft day. It's a horrible film.
It's a really bad movie.
Well, here's my opinion. I think I've told you this. I know you don't agree with it. I don't like Kevin Costner. I don't like anything Kevin Costner.
That's a bad take. That's a horrible take.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not a Costner.
Dreams.
Nope.
Bull Durham.
Nope. No thanks.
And Cup.
No.
What do you mean?
I'm not into those films. They don't do anything for me.
That's an L.
I'm a football guy.
But it's an L going into Overtime.
Pew, 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 pew. Costner rules.
Costner like dating Jennifer Gardner in that movie. It's like,
Yeah. You know what's crazy? You're not going to be shocked to hear this. You probably already know this, that the former Cardinals general manager, Steve Keim, said that's the closest thing to like the actual draft.
Of course he did. Man, we're in OT here. Everybody hit that like.
Do you get any kind of like ironic love for draft day? Like it's so bad it's good.
The clips that I see on Instagram, or Twitter, I actively try to avoid. Here's what I like. The late Chadwick Boseman is in that movie, and I like Chadwick Boseman. How about that?
Okay.
But like everything else, the guy, like the Seahawks GM hamming it up, all the trading of draft picks. I don't think Dennis Leary's any good either. I think I dislike a lot of that movie. Tank 17's a new member. Let's go. Tank. Thanks a lot, Tank.
Great profile pick.
Crazy baby. I watch it every year. I could sit through it. We should do like a watch along of it. Or not a watch
like
along.
Week 11 instead of watching the game. Just
I meant for the off season, but sure, whatever. At this point, why not?
We should just do that for a bunch of sports movies. Just rewatch them, see how they hold up.
What happened to Johnny and Bo? Or they're watching Hoop Dreams on a Sunday.
We're forcing John to watch every Kevin Costner sports movie. He's going to be gone for the next 3 days.
No more Cardinals. I need a break from them. We appreciate everybody here. Again, we've had a banner month, had a banner 24 hours. Again, this team's not out of it, but man, oh man, they got to make some adjustments, and that's what ideally the great staffs do. Bo, big thanks to you, my guy. You're back in action next week at the facility. Hopefully we get some answers on some of these guys who are banged up. They're going to get an extra practice day, and they're going to take advantage of it. You guys got to like that. So they're in the action on Monday. We'll hear from Jonathan Gannon, and then the coordinators on Tuesday. But they're getting that bonus day Monday. They're going to take advantage of it, try to get better at football. Probably you're not going to kind of turn your nose up at that watching this team play. Got to get better at the football, but taking a couple days, as are we. But that doesn't mean the content doesn't stop. Make sure you subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. And, of course, follow at PHNX_Cardinals on all your socials. Follow Johnny Venerable at Johnny Venerable. Follow me, Bo Brack. And, of course, if you want to follow Noah, you'd appreciate it. Right, Noah?
Nah.
Okay, don't do that.
Then. Actually, unfollow him if you follow him.
Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. Enjoy not going through it. The, of course, roller coaster of emotion on Sundays with your Redbirds. But we'll be back with a brand new episode. Maybe even have some bonus content Monday morning, Johnny. We'll see if we're that sick. But, of course, we're back here 4:30 Monday afternoon, PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.